library and it is packed. I can literally tell because I had to park super far away, but the sun is out. I feel like that's why, because it's like such a nice day. I feel like it's not going to be hard to find books that I want. Whoa, the sun literally being behind me. I feel like it's not going to be hard to find books that I want because there's so many new ones out right now that I feel like will be really good to read. I kind of want to get something by the author who wrote, I think the book is called The X-Vows. Currently reading it right now and really loving it, and I know she came out with You with a View, so I'm going to see if they have that in there. Hopefully they do. Out so much and I always feel like I'm in shape until I have to walk up 3 super tall flights of stairs, and then I'm just like, have I worked out a day in my life? Until this book came to the library because I bought this at Barnes and I've like heard mixed reviews about it, and now I'm kind of just like scared to read it, but I also feel like if I don't read it, it's a waste of money. But this would have been perfect if I got it at the library, and I always forget, like I literally just need to wait a few like weeks, days, because my library has the best books. They always pick books that are like very like popular, new, and it's really nice. I definitely should have waited for this one. This is also a hardback, and I read 2 of her other books and wasn't really obsessed with them, but I feel like this one, I don't know, I've heard a lot of good things about this one, so it could be good. But I'm also nervous because I've read 2 other ones that I was not really obsessed with. One thing I do see myself doing is getting books that are just like not the type that I would normally bring home, or I haven't like heard of, like this one. I've been in my historical fiction era, so I see myself getting like different genres today, like books that are just different. I don't know, that's just kind of what I'm leaning towards today, because it's like, why not use a library for getting stuff that is like really different? I love coming here and finding books by Black authors that I've never heard of before. I don't know if this is a Black author, but I'm just making the assumption based on what this is about. It says, from rural Mississippi in the Jim Crow era through the transformative 1970s, this sweeping novel tells the tale of a mother's sacrifice, relentless ambition, and goes against all odds success, but the one dream she can't stop chasing may cost her everything. Never heard of this, but it looks really good. I love how these books are in such great condition. Like literally not one page is out of place. I also just noticed this book, The 13th Husband, which this is the book that I got whenever I was in where was I, Michigan, with Andrea, and she picked this out for me. Had no idea what it was about, not knowing it was a new release, and so now I want to read it even more just because it like just came out, but it's literally in the library and it just came out in August. I also have Heaven Earth Grocery Store, which is a book that I've heard great things about. I actually owned this book and I gave it to a friend because I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to read it, because I'm just like not really big on like, I don't know, historical fiction or like contemporary fiction, and now I'm like in that era, so I kind of wish that I still had it. Oh my gosh, guys, this book literally just came out too, and I just bought this. Oh my gosh, this, I literally could have got this here. Why do I not come to the library more often? It is so funny to me that these are the books that I normally would have just like not wanted to bring home. I don't even know if you guys can see this, but I would have normally put this right back because it has a girl on the front. She just looks, she's giving like old-timey vibes. Not me leaving my phone over there. And now I'm just like, what is this book about? Because I love historical fiction now, which you just don't know where your reading tastes are gonna go. And I wonder if like 10 years from now, I'll still be reading what I'm reading now, or if I'll just like add on to what I'm reading. Like, I am really excited to see. But this book actually looks really good. It just came out in June. It says, in her spellbinding new novel, Jenny LaCote, New York Times bestselling author, explores the secrets and lies in a small community recovering from war and the 2 young women at the center of a volatile mystery. I'm so glad that my library does such a great job of putting in books by Black authors. Like, you guys know I love this book, like absolutely ate it up, and they have it in paperback and hardback. And then they also have this one here. And if your library doesn't have like books like this, you definitely should like ask your librarians to bring in books, because they can do that for you, and they can get your library books to have like newer books. You just have to ask for it. I have never seen a hardback copy of this, but now I kind of want it. I feel like the library just always hits with their books, but this is why I like hardback books, because you don't have to worry about them getting messed up. I do think that this is probably like for a library specifically, because this is a hardback, but it's like smaller than your typical hardback. Like, look at this one. This one's so much bigger, and I feel like the library has to get hardbacks that like maybe we don't get in like a regular bookstore. But imagine, like absolutely imagine, I love hardbacks because they just don't get like bent up and messed up. I like to throw mine in my purse and just kind of like toss them around, and I have to kind of worry about them and like, I don't know, care for them a little bit better when they're paperbacks. But if I had hardbacks like this, I would literally be like just itching to buy every book that looks just like this. I'm so serious when I say that there is a book in here that I literally was thinking of buying, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy it because I've only read one book by this author, and it was like a Christmas book, and they have the book in here, which is perfect because now I can read it, and if I like it I can buy it, and if I don't then I won't. And I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna start DNFing books. Like, I need to start doing that, because I don't think I'll DNF the books I bought, because it's like if I already bought them, I already feel like weird, like wasting money, you know, if I like don't like it. And I get like life is too short to like read a book you don't like, but also life is too short to waste my money. So I can see myself reading books in the library and DNFing them if I don't like them, because I won't feel like bad or weird about wasting money. I'm definitely gonna bring this book home. I'm gonna show it to you guys in the car. But I did find this book right here, The Frenemy Fix-Up. Love this book by Yara St. John. I recently bought her newest book. They have so many good new books in here. I'm just wanting to bring home like everything. I see this book every time I go into Barnes, and I feel like this would be the perfect place to get it, because if I don't like it I can just take it back. But never read anything by this author, but this cover always pulls me in. It kind of reminds me of the books by Carly Fortune. They look super similar to me. I cannot read books that are like super spooky. Like, I literally get scared. I do love Riley Sager's books. I've read 2 of them. One of them was like okay, and the other one was like really good. The House Across the Lake. But this one I think is supposed to be like super spooky. They do have This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan here, which I love this book, and it is in that little hardback that I was telling you guys about that they have often. So I'm gonna put that up for someone else to read, because I have already read it. But I think I'm gonna leave this one on the shelf unless one of you guys has read it and you enjoyed it. But I just cannot do super spooky. But I do want to get some spooky books while I'm in here, just nothing like super scary. I feel like the library is a perfect place to buy a book based off of the cover, because is this not the coolest cover ever? I need to start telling myself go to the library if you're not sure about the book, because I swear every book I've been somewhat like on the fence or unsure about is in the library. Like this book, Novel Love Story, bought this book and I ended up putting it into a free library because I've just heard not the best things about it, and I've read 2 books by this author. I read the 7 Year Slip, and I read The Dead Romantics, which were just both okay. I know everyone loved The 7 Year Slip, it just wasn't my favorite, but I did not want to, like, I don't want to say suffer through, because I feel like that's a stretch, but it was just like mid for me, both those books. And I should have just come to the library. So now I think I'm gonna try to remind myself, if I'm just like kind of on the fence about a book, or just like thinking about a book and not like absolutely obsessed with it, or like going in to buy it with a purpose, I need to come to the library and get it, because they have pretty much every book here that I've like ever wanted to read. Especially the new books too. I'm still not even done looking through the new section, and then there's all of these books back here. These are all like audiobooks, and then all back there, those are books that aren't new. And these books are new, but there's still a bunch of like newer books back there. These are just like from August, May. I think they do like 6 months in this area, and then everything back there is like later than 6 months. But like Kristen Hanna's books, like other authors that I do love, will be back there. So we're gonna go back there and look. I just wanted to see what was up here. This is my favorite place to look for books first, just because I feel like these are the ones that I'm always gravitating towards, because they are brand spanking new. And I always end up finding books that I just like kind of missed in the bookstore or just like haven't seen before. One thing I do get kind of confused about and like need to figure out is how to find books in the library. Like I want to find Kristen Hanna's book, so it would be H-A, and this is H-A-R, but then over here there's like no H-A anywhere, so I'm guessing it's through here. I'm gonna take a guess. We're gonna do this together because I struggle to find books in the library. Sometimes it's like easy because I just know like what the front of the book looks like, you know? Like I just know like the binding, and like I'm really big on colors. That's why I have my like library separated by color. But sometimes it's really hard whenever I can't remember what the color of the book is, or just like don't know the author. But we're gonna find Kristen Hanna's book. So I do want to see what they have here with her books. I love Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pickenin's books. I actually own this book and have owned it, I want to say, for like 3 years. I'm not even kidding, and haven't read it. So I need to read it. This is one of those things that maybe if I bring this book home, because they have so many copies, so it's not like I'm taking from someone else. If I bring this book home, maybe it'll like push me to read the one that I actually own, or push me to just like finish the book in general. There were times where I used to like leave the library and be like, oh, I didn't find anything, like I don't think I'm gonna get anything this time around, and you guys were literally like, no, you have to leave with the book, because when you go to the library and utilize like, you know, this space, just like walk around, look at books, if you don't get anything, there's really no way for like the library to know that you came and like utilize their space. So like checking out a book is a great way to show that you like love the community space and you want it to continue to thrive. So whenever I come in here, I always try to get at least a few books. It's not hard by any means, but I have found myself getting like one book at least that I already own, and then I'll like read it. Like last time that I came to the library, I got You Made a Fuel of Death with Your Beauty, because that book is one that's been on my shelf forever. And because you have like a return time with the library and you have to like take it back at a certain time, it actually pushed me to finish the book. And yes, I own it, and yes, I could have read my own copy, but I just, sometimes there's some books that just sit on my shelf forever, and this one is one of them. It's been sitting forever, and I love this author's books. I read The Golden Couple, or I think that's what it's called. I read it like 4 years ago, loved it, and I recommend it often for like thrillers, but I have not picked up another book by the author duo, so I feel like that one could be a good one to pick up. But there's also so many other books in here too. I'm so serious. I think I got this book from the library last year around this time. I'm like dead serious when I think about like the books that I got last fall. This is You Again by Kate Goldbeck. I think I got this from the library because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this author. Perfect library books. Didn't read it, but now I can read it again. I have not thought about this book once, but because like the leaves and stuff are on the front, and I think this is supposed to be like When Harry Met Sally type of romance, it's making me want to bring this one home. That's the one thing that is hard about the library, is because there are so many options. You could literally bring home so many books. Like when I was a kid, I used to bring home, my parents I think would stop me at like 17 books, but I would bring them home and read them all like in a 2-week span. I just was like a big reader. Really, I would just finish a lot of them within the week, because my parents would take me to the library pretty much weekly, and I just like couldn't imagine even doing that now. Like that is just absolutely unreal. They do have a lot of like newer books back here, so like Love Interest, I've heard that people have talked a lot about that one, and this book right here by Ceresia Glass came on. I'm pretty sure this book came out this year, or at least like late last year. Have not read this one yet. Again, it's one I've heard great things about, but it's back here, it's not in the new releases, so that just goes to show that there are tons of books in the like shelved area of the library. Like I'm pretty sure I saw, yeah, I saw Annie Bot, and this book just came out not that long ago, but it's shelved back here. I'm assuming it came out like probably before the 6-month mark, so they put it back here. They have a ton of like newer books back here too, not just in the new release section. bit bad that I kind of want to get some Christmas books while I'm in here. I love Christina Lauren's books. They are such a great author duo and they have so many books. Like literally all of these are theirs. They are missing the like Love and Other Words, which is truly like their best book. Maybe someone checked it out. But they have 2 Christmas books here and that's kind of gotten me in the mood to like want to bring home some Christmas books, because it's like if I get them, don't read them, not a big deal. But also it's like, do any Christmas books? I don't know, is anyone else in the Christmas mood? I feel like I'm already starting to get into the Christmas mood, even though it's like really so early. There are so many books by this author here, which is so cool because I've heard great things about their books. I love finding books by an author that is like well loved in the library because I just know someone's gonna be so happy about it. I have really been into messy books lately. Like you guys know I've been in my contemporary fiction era, even though I'm typically like a romance girly, and you guys have told me to pick up Luster by Raven Leilani, so I picked it up while I was in here and I was just like, okay, let me look through it, see what it's about. You guys are messy. You guys are messy. Literally, I get to page 12. I was just like flipping through it and she's like, on this date, and it says, so I do my best to be unimpressed for as long as I can. I try to make it look like my silence is discerning as opposed to being fearful of what embarrassing thing I might say. And he goes, are you dating anyone else? And she goes, no. Does that make you want me less? And he goes, no. Does me being married make you want me less? And she goes, it makes me want you more. Messy. You guys want me to read this book? Like I'm wagging my finger at you guys. You guys told me to read this, but now I want to read it. I feel like this is giving like I don't know, I feel like the contemporary fiction that I've been really loving are the books that have like heavy on the romance, but also like they're on their own journey of like figuring out life. They're kind of messy, like they don't know what they're doing, kind of like reality TV vibes. And I feel like this is gonna give that. You guys recommended this a while back. I actually, again, owned this book and I did like an unhaul and you guys were like, oh, like you need to keep it, and I didn't listen to you guys. I should have. And now I'm like, why did I not? Because this book looks so freaking good. So I am gonna have to get this, like literally gonna have to get this. It looks like it's a good book, and that sentence alone makes me feel like it's gonna be so messy. I think it's about a girl who starts dating this guy who's like in an open relationship or something, I think. I don't really know for sure because you guys just told me to buy it, or get it, not buy it, to get it. But that's the good thing about the library, is like if I get it, don't like it, I can take it back, not finish it, no harm, no foul. I feel like this book is calling my name. It's about like one of the most exclusive Black communities in 1972. One of you guys actually recommended this. It's by a Black author and it's like historical fiction, but it's not like super far back in time or anything. It's literally just like 1972. But or maybe it's not historical fiction, maybe it's just contemporary fiction, I don't know. But you guys recommended it and I feel like if I see a book enough, I will literally end up like getting it somewhere, and this is my second time seeing it, so if I see it one more time, does that mean that I need to get it? I just was literally just walking through and just saw it on one of the shelves just randomly. This is another book that you guys have been begging me to get, The Kite Runner. I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it. I'm sorry. I know I'm gonna disappoint because you guys have said that I need to read this. I feel like I could eventually read it. I just know my reading taste so much, which is why I've never DNF'd a book. There have been books where like I rated No Exit 1 star because I feel like there were some slurs in that book that they, one, didn't need to use, and two, it's like, come on, we're 2024. Like you don't ever need to use that. But even if you're trying to make a point, because I think the author was trying to like let us know that the main character like sucks, like we kind of already know that he literally kidnapped people, you know. But I wasn't really obsessed with that book, but the writing and stuff was fine. Like I think I rated it like 1 star, I'm pretty sure, maybe 2, but I ended up finishing it. That was kind of like a fluke because I like thrillers, like I like fast-paced writing. Like I didn't expect to not like it. It's very rare that I rate a book that low unless it's like something kind of coming out of like left field. But the reason for that is because I pick books that I know that I'll like, and I do think that eventually I could like this. In the same way that I was saying, I feel like in the future my book taste will change. I feel like I could eventually get to the point where I'm reading like more like wordy books with like less dialogue, books that are maybe heavier in like historical like facts. I just feel like I'm not there yet, and because I was an English literature major, I got so burnt out on books like that I don't want to get burnt out and then like revert back to only reading romance again. Like I'm just dipping my toe into reading like historical fiction, contemporary fiction, and I'm loving it so far, like eating it up, but I do not want to burn myself out on that. I think the best way to do that is to stick to books that I know that I will love. I just saw this book in here and I just bought Perfect Peace for myself, and I'm happy that I bought this book, but it makes me really glad that it's actually, I literally cannot get this out. It makes me really glad that it's in the library for someone who wants to read it if they so choose, because it's a book that I feel like so many people have been talking about. And there's 2 copies of it in here, pristine condition, and then they also have this other book that I've heard great things about too. They do have a section which I love. It's like right by the windows in like the front area, and there's the Western books, urban fiction, sci-fi, and romance and mystery. And it's kind of like sections so that you don't have to like go all the way into the back if you like don't really know what you're looking for. So I kind of like to come over here if I'm not really sure what I want, and just like, if I know like the genre, I'll just like stick to these little like sections. I do want to look in the urban fiction section because I always feel like I find books over here that I haven't read before. Like this book right here, Bet On It. Never read it, but looks super, super cute. I have read 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, which I absolutely loved. They have so many other books over here too, and I feel like they filter these out pretty frequently, which is really nice. Came downstairs to look at the books that are for sale. They have hardbacks for $3 and oversized paperbacks for $2. Guys, tell me why I found the hardback version of Ninth House like for $3. Literally, I don't even really read like Dark Academia. I don't even really read it, but I want to buy this for this reason. They also have tons of other books, like the guest list they have by Lucy Foley, $3. They have the last story of Mina Lee for $3. So many good books. Ruth Ware. Someone just decided to get rid of all of their incredible books, but this one in particular is literally making me want to buy it just because it's in such great condition. It's literally $3, and they have tons of other books that you can buy. Like these are all the paperbacks. These right here, the pocket paperbacks, are only $1, and then these are the ones that are $2, and these are the ones that are $3. Still such a great price. And then they have like younger books down here too. I got so many books. I'm really excited to show you guys. I got so many genres, so many different types of books. So let's just get into this haul. If you want to know why I have so many flowers in the back and up front, literally everywhere, go over to my Instagram. I'm doing like a little, I think it'll already be up by now, but yeah, I think the whole thing will be up by now, but I'm doing like a little revamp of my porch. I realized not that long ago, it was literally like this weekend, I was like, my parents were the ones when we were younger who like did the barbecues, and they did like all of the fall decorating and all of that stuff, and we just kind of like helped, you know. We're adults now. Like, no one's gonna come and do our decorations for us, and no one's gonna come and do the barbecues. Like, we are the ones to do that now. So I'm trying to, this year, for the first time, like really take that on and be like, okay, I'm going to decorate my porch like my mom did, or like my mom did when I was a kid. And I feel like whenever I was in college, I didn't really do that because I would go home and my mom would have the house decorated. So it almost felt like it was my decorations. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but like when you're in college, you don't really have to do it for yourself because your home isn't really your college home. Like, it is home, but it doesn't feel truly like home. And I think that this year is the first year that it's really set in that like, I am the one who needs to continue these traditions in my own home. And maybe it's because my mom, she moved states. So like, you know, Thanksgiving, I would usually just go over to her house and like soak in her Thanksgiving decorations, and I can't really do that. Or Christmas decorations, you know, spring decorations for Easter, like whatever. And so I'm trying to do some fall decorating. I have tons of stuff in here that I picked up. I'm gonna try to figure it out. I'm not very good at like home decor stuff. I'm learning, but I've been trying to like Pinterest a lot of stuff. So yeah, head over to Instagram and TikTok if you want to see like how it turns out. But I got tons of books, so let's go through these. The first book that I picked up that I already showed you guys is Luster. Really excited to read this one. It's so funny to me how this literally was a book that I own, and I had it on my shelf, I think, for 4 years, and I got rid of it like last year. And it just was like, it was time for it to go because I hadn't read it in so long. And I try to do that. Like if I've had a book on my shelf for a long time and I just don't think that I'm going to read it, I don't think it's my vibe, I try to give it to a free library because I'm like, I want someone to enjoy it. And I also have so many books that I haven't read. So it's like, why keep something I'm not going to be invested in? But now I am just like, why? Like now I mean, I guess I can like, you know, read it at the library, but it's just so funny how my taste has changed. Now I feel like I'll really enjoy this book. I already kind of talked about what that one is about. The book that I told you guys about in there that I ended up getting, well, let me show you first the book that I got that I actually own. I try to get one book that I own because I need to be reading some books off my shelf too. So it kind of encourages me to read the book. Even though I usually don't end up reading the library book, I do end up reading my own book. I got Out of Office, and this is by A.H. Quinn. It's by a Black author. It says, essential vacation romance, exploring what happens when you step out of the office, take a chance on yourself, and discover your deepest desires. Now, again, I do own this, but I'm going to Vegas to go visit my mom pretty soon, so this could be a good one that I bring with me on vacation whenever I am in like a warmer area. But then again, I also like do read like fluffy, beachy, cutesy romances in winter, and it's like something that really helps me to not get like the winter blues. So if you're someone who normally gets the winter blues, stop reading sad books, stop reading like heavy thrillers or like heavy books, like read fluffy books. Like I feel like people should be reading fluffy, cutesy romances in the winter instead of summer. Or if you do like want to read it like in the summer too, like that's fine. But I feel like if there was a time to read it, we should flip-flop. Like I feel like people get into the sad, like gloomy books when the weather is gloomy, but like that's just gonna make you down bad even more. So I try to steer clear from that whenever it gets to be gloomy. Now, right now is the perfect time for like winter, like gloomy books because it's actually sunny out, and it's also great for summer books because it's sunny out. So it's just the perfect balance right now, but eventually when the weather changes and it gets to be super cold, even when it's cold, it's fine. But it's like the second it starts to get gloomy and like gray all the time, that's when I like kind of switch to like the cutesy little reads. But I have this one. I also ended up picking up another cutesy romance, and this is one that I told you guys about, but I wanted to share once I got in the car, and this is the one I was actually planning on buying, and I'm glad I got it in here. I read one book by this author and thought it was cute, but it was a Christmas book, so I didn't really have something to really judge their writing off of. I picked up A Run at Love, and this book just came out July of this year. And it says, a contender running for the races. As a Black woman in a field with little diversity, Piper McKinney is determined to make her mark on the horse racing world. Raised on a thoroughbred farm in Kentucky, Piper's dream is for her horse to win the prestigious Kentucky Derby. With the help of her best friend and trainer, Tucker Hale, she gains national attention but must grapple with the complications that arise when a journalist delves into her past as a transracial adoptee. A best friend racing for love. In an effort to win Piper's heart, Tucker formulates a plan to train Piper's horse to victory, hoping to prove himself to her, her parents, and his own self-doubts. Then a shocking scandal hits the media, implicating both Piper and her parents, and she and Tucker will have to survive the onslaught to find their way to the winner's circle and each other. A romance worth the challenge. This looks good, and I'm pretty sure that this book has very little spice. Like when I read her Christmas book, I enjoyed it, but I think that I shared it somewhere and someone was like, oh, you should read more Tony Shiloh because there's like no spice. So if you don't like spice in books and you want a good plot, like a cute romance, an adult romance, which I feel like again is hard to find sometimes, like sometimes I'm just like, I just want a Hallmark movie vibe, but I don't want to read about high school. And I feel like this is the type of author that I would gravitate towards. It also looks like these are two Black characters. He kind of looks like maybe he's like mixed or something, but I also love when there are characters that are like both
you know, just like an underrepresented group. Oh yeah, it says Christian fiction. So, that's good to know if you are looking for an author who isn't going to give like any spice. This is going to be one for that. Then I got, The Fury by Alex Michelids, and this is by the author who wrote The Silent Patient. This just came out as well. It's a mystery. Just came out. It came out like last year, but this looks like a really good mystery. This is the type of author who gives like really intricate mysteries, very deep, very thought out. Like you really, it's not gonna be like crazy fast paced, but it's gonna be something you really have to think about. So this one could be good for whenever I'm on the plane. But then again, I also get kind of nervous taking library books with me on vacation. Like, I don't know, comment below if you guys take books with you or not. I feel like maybe I should take my Kindle instead and like not take these physical books and just read the physical books at home. But this is a thriller that I feel like will be good because it's not scary. And you guys know I wasn't trying to find anything scary. I was trying to find something that has an intricate story. And I feel like this definitely has that. Not me yawning already. Like I am like so glad that I was able to come to the library, but I still have lots to do today. So I need to like pick up the pace with my energy. And then the other book that I got is The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane. I've heard that this book is so good. This is a queer read. It says the real love story happens behind the scenes. I don't really know what this is about, but it has like a reality TV type of situation. It has some drama in it. It looks like it's going to be really good. I guess I could read the back of this one too. I've heard that this is like literally great. It says Dev has always believed in fairy tales, so it's no wonder that he spent his career crafting them on the long-running reality show Ever After. As the most successful producer in the franchise history, Dev always scripts the perfect love story for his contestants, even as his own love life crashes and burns. But then the show casts disgraced tech wonderkind Charlie Winshaw as its star. Charlie is far from the romantic Prince Charming Ever After expects. He doesn't believe in true love and agreed to appear on the show only as a last-ditch effort to rehabilitate his image. In front of the cameras, he's a stiff, anxious mess with no idea of how to date 20 women on national television. As Dev fights to get Charlie to connect with the contestants on a whirlwind worldwide tour, they begin to open up to each other, and Charlie realizes he has better chemistry with Dev than with his co-stars. But even reality has a script, TV has a script, and in order to find their way to happily ever after, they'll have to reconsider whose love story gets told and why. Interesting. Oh, this looks so good. Well, I'm sold. I'm literally sold. So these are all the books that I got at the library. If you have not been to your local library, please go. I try to do library videos once a month because it just like makes my heart happy for one, but I also feel like it's nice to see what books are in store. And I also feel like, or not in store, are on the shelves. And I also feel like it gets me to read books that I wouldn't normally pick up because I'm not worrying about like spending money. Like if I don't like it, that's fine. Like, it's not that big of a deal. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys!